Alright, welcome everybody to BDA Boxing Film Analysis. This is your host, Mr. BDA, and I'm glad that everybody could be on board for this one. Guys, as of this recording, which is near the end of January 2021, we're hearing reports that Joshua versus Fury might actually happen this year. So with that in mind, I decided, you know what, let's go and take a look back at the Fury-Wallin fight, because a lot of people felt that Fury didn't look very good. Actually, they feel that he looked vulnerable in that fight. So I decided, let's go look at it, see what really happened. Buckle up, fellas, because we're going to get to the bottom of things and see if any of the vulnerabilities that he showed in this fight can be exploited by a guy like Joshua, or maybe even a guy like Usyk, who, like Wallin, is also a southpaw, but a better version. So guys, without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, so one of the first things you notice about Fury that he always does in most fights, and really did it here as well, is everything starts with feints and jabs. Okay, so as you can see here, feinting a lot against Wallin, who is a southpaw. He's about 6 feet 5 inches tall, I believe, whereas Fury is listed as 6 feet 9. So even though Wallin's a big dude, Fury had a bit of an advantage there when it comes to length and height, but he makes things even more difficult for poor Wallin by feinting a lot. And as you can see here, this is where the jab starts coming after the feints. Wallin no longer knows when the jab is coming or if it's coming, and as you see, Fury very good, not only feinting or also throwing the up jab, or here he throws it from a conventional position, see, on the upside, like a conventional guard. So the jab comes in here. He's telegraphing it a little bit because he likes to flick it, whether he's throwing the up jab or a more conventional jab like this. But even then, because of the feints and because of his length and timing, he makes it look easy, relatively speaking, of course, and Wallin is not able to see it. Flicking the jab, it's more of an up jab, sticking, and then he knows how to use his length, jabs, steps back, and then keeps that jab or that left hand right on Wallin's face so he can catch him. And see here again, just feinting, and then throws the jab. Again, feinting, throwing the jab, and then keeping that hand right in his face. When it comes to the power shots, well, anything that's not a jab, obviously, he can counter off the southpaw position, as we can see here, but also showing good timing for a big guy. Good timing and relatively good hand speed. See, what happened here was Wallin did a good thing. He feinted as if he was about to throw the left, but he sort of a little too slow on the trigger there. So as he's feinting, now he's looking to throw the right hook, but for a millisecond too long there, Fury saw it. See how Fury was getting ready to roll with the left hand, by the way? So again, he's very aware of what's coming, and he saw, okay, he's not throwing the left, he's probably gonna throw the right, so yeah, he sees it and catches him with the left hand. Now, he's retreating as he's doing so, Fury is. You see how he's got his weight on the back foot, so it's not gonna be the hardest of punches, and of course Fury is not what you would call a whipping puncher like a Wilder or even a Joshua, who's got nice crisp shots, but he weighed about 250 something pounds in this fight, so he doesn't really have to have perfect technique. I mean, all he has to do is swat at you, and look at this, boom, hard shot that really does move a guy that's about 230 pounds at this point in the fight. Like catching him coming in there against southpaw position, now as a righty, just keeping that hand in his face, catching him with a right hook, catching him with a left hand there, was it? No, what was it? I was getting confused because I don't want to rewind too much, guys, just to rewind the essential things, but yeah, he shifted there and caught him with the left. Very good. Here changing levels and catching him with a right hand. Now this is the one, well, let's watch this one in slow motion first. See how he's shifting as he's backing up. Very interesting and crafty from Fury. So what's his name, Wallin, who hasn't really been feinting all that much throughout the fight. His only real feint is this, when he steps on the gas, as it were, and readies himself to propel himself forward. So Fury knows something's coming, so all he does is back off. Wallin keeps going forward. See how he actually gets out of position with his feet. You can't really see it, but you can see here he's squaring himself up actually, or even changing stances, because he's just following Fury around. So he keeps walking forward. Fury sees this, catches him with the right, and at the same time shifts, meaning he changes stances, avoiding Wallin's counterattack. Wallin keeps coming, but now Fury stops. He's in the perfect position to throw a 1-2 misses with the left, but keeps his hand there. You know, places it behind Wallin's head, controls him, and shoots an uppercut. They're very sneaky, dirty stuff from Fury. That's what Joshua's going to have to watch out for, because he's got a lot of tricks up his sleeve. Some of them bending the rules or downright breaking them. But that's what Joshua's going to have to deal with. Here you see him throwing that left hand and then avoiding the counter punch. Big right hand. Now again, just really want to illustrate. People say, oh, Fury's not a big puncher. Of course, he's not what you would call, like I said, a whipping type puncher. But he's more of a clubber. But boy, oh boy, are those clubbing shots. Look at that. He pushes Wallin, who's 30-something pounds, 230 pounds, I believe, and 6 feet 5 inches tall. Boom, all the way back. These are the type of shots that rattle your head, make you see sparkles and stars, and they can wear you down, man. Here, just a classic technique from Fury of just essentially hypnotizing a guy by just flicking the jab, keeping it there, using his hand to distract the guy, but he goes to the body here, so Wallin really should have just either kept his guard tight or gotten out of the way. When somebody does this to you, they're setting you up for the lead hand. They're just flicking that hand there, sort of like a snake charmer, just hypnotizing you, then boom, big right hand. Look at that. I mean, that shakes you up. It's not gonna, like I said, it's not a Wilder type right hand where it's gonna knock out a guy cold, but you take enough of those, they wear you down. Before you know it, your body starts failing you. Again, more right hands here. Again, look at this type of shot here. So first of all, Wallin goes in with the left. Fury just ducks it, using his elbow there and his arm to shove Wallin back, creates a little space, has him pinned on the ropes, just a little touch here to keep him in place and distract him as well. And then he throws this wall up of a right hand right behind the guard. And again, look at how he shakes poor Wallin's head. Like, let me tell you, these shots, they're not gonna drop him, but they're stunning him, trust me. That's why when people say, well, how did Wilder get stopped? Fury's not a puncher. He's a damaging enough puncher that if you take enough of these shots, he wears you down, especially if you're a panicky fighter like Wilder, who's just expanding energy, shifting all the time, or acting all jittery, and then taking these type of shots as well. Nice mid-distance right hand here, piercing the guard, and then again, being a little dirty there, holding Wallin behind the head and then catching him with an uppercut. That's why Joshua is not going to want to be bending over in front of Fury too much, because Fury's going to lean on him. And then here, just coming forward, hook, leaning on him with the head, another hook, then pushing him forward. That's a nice little sneaky move as well. Crafty move from Tyson Fury. Just keep him in, again, distracting him here with the jab, just flicking it. What's his name? Wallin doesn't know what's coming. And then finally Fury just throws the right. Well, no, he doesn't actually. He feints, so he makes Wallin ducked underneath it and sets him up for this very tough-looking slap of a left hook. But again, it's a shot. Actually, you know what? He took it pretty well there. It wasn't the hardest shot compared to some of the other ones we've seen, but it's a scoring blow. Again, short right hand behind the guard. Uppercut there. And again, this is not up close, chest to chest. It's not where you want to be against Tyson Fury. Wallin jumps in there because he doesn't want to be on the ropes anymore for the attacks that are coming. So jumps in there, boop, gets close, chest to chest, head to head. Look at Fury's left arm, shoves it down there. So he's essentially controlling Wallin's right arm, so he can't block this shot right here. A nice short uppercut, and look at how it actually lifts Wallin up off the ground. I mean, again, these are the type of sneaky shots you don't see coming, and they hurt and they stun and they wear a guy down. Again, another uppercut there, catching him coming in. Another uppercut, catching him coming in. Left uppercut, then a right hook. This type of, okay, I mean, first of all, look at this again. At some of the sneaky stuff Fury does. This is, at this point right now, Fury, I believe, he was cut, and it was a bad cut. So he started coming forward like he did against Wilder in the second fight, trying to stop Wallin, because he knew that the fight could be stopped at any time. And if it was stopped, it was based on a punch, I believe. So the fight would have been a TKO for Wallin. So look at what Fury does here. He comes forward. He's got his head to head against Wallin. Keeps coming forward. Look at his left foot there. Plants it on Wallin's, pinning him there. Big left uppercut. Again, people say, oh, Fury can't punch. You want to be taking these type of shots? Look at this. Boom, lifts him forward. But again, he's being distracted by the foot here. And then Wilder keeps walking forward as Wallin tries to get away there, but Fury's foot is still there, so it's an obstacle. So Wallin actually has to step around it, but as he's doing so, he's in an awkward position. Look at how his ankle is twisted there, and he takes another shot. Although he's blocking it, it's still shoving him to the side, so he reels backwards. So this was a big shot, but it looked as if he hurt him more than perhaps he might have been by the shot, by virtue of the fact he's getting tangled up here. So this really impresses the judges, and it's some of the things that just creates chaos and panic in a guy's head, and Joshua is going to have to watch out for this type of attack. Again, another left uppercut. Now the body shots, Fury actually did a lot of body work in this fight. As you can see up close, hooks, keeping him there. See, he keeps him pinned there with that hand. I mean, see, this body shot was really like in between the armpit and one of the pecs. He must have hit a nerve or some sort of unprotected part there, because see how Wallin reacted there? It made him react some form way, and Tony Weeks actually saw this, but reacted a little bit too late, and then he sort of stepped in way too late though, for my liking. Another body shot that hurt Wallin there, throwing it in between a Wallin shot there, and Wallin gets pushed back. Look at that headbutt in there. I mean, look, I'm not a big fan of dirty stuff, but whether you like it or not, Joshua's gonna have to deal with it somehow. Or even Usyk, forget about it. Usyk's gonna be in a lot of trouble if Fury is using these type of tactics against him. But then, of course, it's all about creating chaos. Look, another body shot in there. Uppercut, just leaning on him. Low blow there. And then another short uppercut, and then he backs up. By the way, Wallin did strafe, what's his name, Fury, with his laces. He tried to lace him. In fact, he might have even caught him with the laces. I think it was actually a punch, as the ref said, but I mean, he was trying to lace that cut. So what goes around comes around. What's good for the goose is good for the gander, and whatever other stereotype you want me to say there, a common phrase actually. I got them all, baby. So, but what I'm trying to get at here is that if both guys are being dirty, what do you want to do? I mean, it's up to the referee to stop them from doing so. Short right. Now, again, this is just him incorporating body shots, uppercuts, and all that while he's on the inside. Really trying to stop Wallin here. Look at these short shots, short uppercuts. Now, this is this is when you're chest to chest against a big guy like this. This can be very hard to deal with because he's very crafty. Look, uppercut, and see how he's holding on there to Wallin's right arm, so Wallin can't punch. So he hits him with an uppercut. Wallin tries to slide off the ropes, but look at Fury positioning himself. See how he twists himself in there to shift his weight towards the right, trying to like twist himself in there like a pretzel, but at the same time he's moving towards his right, effectively blocking Wallin's escape route. See, let's look at this in real time. See what he does there? So, and then as he's got his path blocked, Fury then starts using again his arm here to pin, and his head as well, to pin Wallin against the ropes, and this arm here from Fury is preventing Wallin from throwing any shots. So this type of close quarters combat, not a lot of guys can deal with it. Not everyone's equipped. It's hard because you don't have enough space to look at your whole target, and it can be very difficult and panic-inducing for a guy like Wallin. Body shots again, then a hook upstairs, leaning on him, body shot, leaning on him, pushing him with the elbows, body shots again, catches a left hand there, Fury did. A 1-2, grabs him behind the head, and then a body shot. Let's look at that again. Again, this, you can tell this can only be really created during sparring and practice during sparring, and Fury's got it down pat. So again, like I said before, the feints and the jabs, this all set up, this type of jabs here. So he flicks the jab, Wallin sees the right hand coming, but too late. Good timing from Fury, catches him with a big right hand that really shakes him up. Boom. Then as Fury keeps advancing, he uses his left hand to keep Wallin in position, keeps that left hand there, then grabs him behind the head, right hook. But now the trick to grabbing somebody behind the head is you don't keep your hand there. He just does it quickly and then drops it. So Tony Weeks does not warn him, even though he should. But boom, right hand behind the guard, and then positions himself with his feet. See how he lands with his feet there? A little bit of an outside angle, changing the angle there, and then a left hook. He tries to go for the uppercut, but Wallin is able to pivot away from it, and he says, come on. Again, body to body, chest to chest, leaning forward, throwaway shots. body shot, then goes upstairs with it, and then again finishes it by Fury overshoots the distance. And again, this is something that I don't want to see him do too much against Fury, against Joshua, because both guys are just going to be falling into clinches. So Fury should try to be a little bit more diligent in not. But at this point, I think he didn't care. I think he really did want to outmuscle Wallin, and he probably knew that Wallin didn't have anything to really hurt him with on the inside. So he falls into it, and then again, you should see how he uses that elbow to push him forward and keep him in position. And then again, he sneaks his head in there and positions his chin in a position where he cannot be hurt, tucking it in. So see, this is the position you want to be in if you're chest to chest. Feet well placed, body bent over forward a little bit, and you're in position to hit. Wallin is leaning back against the ropes. Look at how stretched out the ropes are. He can't do anything here. He can tap him maybe a little bit, Wallin can, but it's not really gonna bother Fury. Fury's in full control here. And he starts opening up, and boom, that shot right there. So see, these shots, again, not very... And in fact, you see when Fury starts hooking, he drops his hand, so he could get countered there by a guy like Joshua, because Joshua has better mid-range shots and slightly quicker hands and better technique than the Fury when it comes to punching. But again, these shots might not look like much, but you can see the rattling Wallin, and then see how he keeps him in place there with the left. With the right, because he's shifting. So he keeps him... No, it's a left. What am I talking about? Jeez Louise. Well, he keeps him there. Boom. Left hand. And then the right hook. Now look at this right hook. Boom. See how it rattles the whole head? I'm telling you, he must have seen stars. These are the type of shots that will buckle you, that will take your energy. I'm surprised Wallin wasn't stopped, because he took a lot of those type of shots. Again, here, uppercuts, hooks, uppercuts, hooks. Just ragdolling poor Wallin, who's a big dude. Again, loads up on that shot there Fury did. Finally, Wallin is able to smother Fury. Again, using that elbow, chest to chest, body shots, shots upstairs. Again, a left hand there, rattling his cage. And look at his short right hand here. See how Fury positions himself, just pulls that right hand back a little bit, because he's very close here. He's got, what's his name? Wallin trap, and look at how Fury's lead hand in a horizontal position, really keeping Wallin in place and blocking his arms. And then he just pulls that right hand back a little bit, a mini inch, and then turns his body. Boom! Right hand that Wallin does not see coming. It's not the most damaging shot, but because it's a short mid-range hook, it's very effective and wincing type shot. I mean, it really can be feel good. Body shot. Just keep smothering him against the ropes. Body shot, uppercut. Body shot. This body shot hurt poor Wallin. So look at Fury. Hands down, right? He's in the southpaw position. Flicks the jab. Hooks off the flick, but it's actually just he's using it to grab Wallin and push him forward into the body shot. See that? And good technique from Fury too, because he's got his legs spread apart nicely in a nice stance, boxing position, and it's just, again, see how he turns his heel in. Boom, nice technique there, throwing that hook to the body. Ooh, and see how Wallin's knees buckle there, and see how he's keeping that elbow pin there, because he did not like that shot. And of course Fury hurts him, and then tries to go back to the body, and then goes upstairs and again and he hurt him again and drove him to the ropes. And short shots here inside. I mean, just hell fighting a guy like this. I mean, it can't be fun, let me tell you. And then uppercuts and then short hooks, just making life a living hell. When it comes to defense, didn't really do much fancy defense here, Fury. A lot of leaning back, leaning against the ropes, using his height and reach advantage to really keep Wallin at bay. Trying to roll with the shots, changing stances, and then shifting there. This is a beautiful move here from Tyson Fury, where he shifts and then attacks off the back foot. So he's weaving under the shots here, retreats, changes stances, and as he uses Wallin's momentum, because he's playing defense here, he's hypnotizing Wallin with the defense. So now Wallin is desperate to catch something, but notice what happens here. Because he's trying to so desperately catch Fury, look at Wallin's feet. See how he's advancing with the rear foot? So now he's off balance, he's not in position to really throw anything hard. He's walking forward falls into Fury's trap. Fury stops, shifted now, so it creates a different look that confuses Wallin, and then throws a 1-2. So by the time Wallin finally is getting his feet set, he gets caught with a short left fender, and then Fury resets into a defensive position. See how he plants his his shoulder forward, so he can roll with the subsequent shot here from Wallin. And see how he shoves him forward a little bit with that arm, creating space and blocking, what's his name, Wallin's hands, because Wallin is in a tight guard here, and so Fury is blocking it. Essentially, he's getting stuck there. So what Fury could actually do is hit him with this free hand. All right, now let's take a look at Fury's weaknesses. Getting hit a lot, well, not a lot, but I mean dropping his hands a lot is what I want to say. Because here, again, almost everybody he faces is shorter than him. So if you change levels against him a little bit, he drops his hands. And so another thing he likes to do often is back up with his in a straight line. So if you're backing up in a straight line with your hands down, you can get away with it a little bit if you're a taller guy. But if a guy sort of knows how to jump in there quickly enough and time you, he can do so. And he got caught there. Again, Wallin changing levels here, and again you see Fury dropping his hands as he's trying to catch him, so he's defenseless here. He sees a shot coming, tries to roll with it, but still, I mean, he's wide open for that. So if Joshua, actually, I've never seen him do it, but if he can start doing that, which is to change levels and throw some mean overhand rights, which are going to be harder than anything Wallin threw, Fury could be in trouble. And there he gets hit with jab, backing up, straight up. Here he's trapped in the ropes, in the corner actually. And when you're a big guy like Fury, normally, first of all, the corner is the last place you want to find yourself in if you're a boxer. But especially if you're a big trunk of a man like Fury, because he's essentially trapped here. See, he can't even roll with it. I mean, he can try to do his Mayweather shoulder roll and all that, like he did against Tom Schwartz. But this ain't Tom Schwartz, and he's trapped now essentially here. And so what Wallin does is he shoots a left to the body, makes Fury drop his hands, and he runs straight into this little left here. It's a short, compact shot that it's not going to knock you out, but it really does. It could buckle you, or worst case scenario, it just stings your fucking face. So here you see the other thing is Fury relies too much on the inside. He's very comfortable, as we saw earlier. He's really a master at close quarter combat, but he can't do much if the other guy has the advantage. So here Fury has his arms locked in like a crab position, or crab stance, but boom, he falls into Wallin's chest, so he can't really do much. He can't punch. If he wants to punch, he has to push Wallin off of him, but right now he's trapped. Wallin catches him with a shot in the temple, and that's the other problem with Fury. He's got a decent chin, but it's that big ass head leaves his temple and his forehead exposed, and he can't be hurt or he can't be rattled, as you can see here. Boom, see how he got buckled there from an inside shot. So Joshua, this is something Joshua could exploit, just whacking him over in his big ass forehead. Here again, Fury punching downward, and Wallin sits down. So now Fury's really got his hands down, and he tries to back straight up, but too late, and he catches a nice left, strong left that drives him back. And Wallin didn't even really put that much. But again, remember guys, these are heavyweights, so even if they don't look like hard punches, the other guy's feeling them, trust me. Straight left there. Left on the inside. Here catching a left on the inside as well. Something Usyk could catch him with a lot if they ever fought. This is slagging a little bit. Hold on a second. There, another little left. Another straight left. Another straight left. At this point, it was because Fury was willing to take him as well. Because again, this is the 11th round. He's got that bad cut. He's trying to punish and stop Wallin. So he's really comfortable with taking these type of left hands. But let me tell you, they're scoring left hands and they do hurt. Even though Fury's made a commitment to take him. But a guy like Usyk could potentially dance around him and score like that. This type, again, Fury trying to catch him here, flicking the jab, finally throws the right, but Wallin changes levels, loads up on the left hand. Fury's got his hands down, tries to back up with his hands down, chin up in the other level. Actually, no, he's stuck in the chin, but still, he's wide open. He's got his hands down, so it doesn't really matter. Boom, look at that. Hard left, and guarantee you that stunned him a little bit. It actually sent him reeling there. And he says, yeah, but that usually means that he felt the shot. Another left hand there, a jab. Again, Joshua's got a good jab. I don't think, if Fury fights Joshua the way he did Klitschko, then Joshua's gonna have a hard time landing that jab. But still, if Fury's Fury's his own worst enemy sometimes. He's too lethargic. He starts playing around and he starts getting hit. Here he's getting hit with shots to the body, and here he gets driven inside with a left hander. Another jab. See here playing around a little too much. Again, trying to recreate the shorts highlights, but he's getting hit, getting tapped with jabs, body shots. Again, playing around but getting hit here. A good left hand and a couple of jabs. Left hand. I see he's playing around, but he's catching shots. Finally, here he's gonna say, "Okay, let me back up." But whoops, he gets so. If he's at this mid-range distance, first of all, this is where Joshua's gonna unleash hooks and uppercuts. So Fury's gonna have to be very cognizant of those, and not back off. Cause see, he comes when he's crouching here. He's okay. He's got his chin tucked in, and none of these are big shots, so he can take him. But it's when he comes up, that's when he's vulnerable, especially when he starts leaning back or retreating with his hands down. Boom, he gets caught with shots that the judges cannot ignore. Boom, and then a jab. See, again, it's when he's rising. That's when he's most vulnerable. He has to reset his height. See that? Boom. He said, all right, enough of this. He cut this good uppercut here. He gets up, but he's leaning back, retreating with his hands down. Doesn't see that Wallin is at the perfect distance, and boom, hard jab that drives him into the ropes. And again, drives him into the corner again. And so here he takes more punishment because there's not much he can do. Here he's gonna take a couple. See again, here he's got that crab-like defense, but this time Wallin has the advantage because he's got his arms over him. So there's nothing Fury can do here until he pushes him back to free up those hands. But he's got his hands locked, so he's giving Wallin free shots here. Finally, he ties him up there. Here he's missing with the right hand, liable to be countered, and here he's getting controlled. Wallin giving him a taste of his own medicine. Like I said, both guys were being dirty in this fight, so. It goes both ways. It takes two to tango. But what I'm trying to illustrate here is that he can be, because he crouches down too, as we've seen. So if he's doing this, this is a big no-no against Fury. He should not be changing levels against Joshua. He should not be changing levels against Joshua, because Joshua also likes to grab people behind the head and whack him with uppercuts. All right, so guys, that was the Fury-Wallin fight. You let us know in the comment section below, guys. Do you think this was an easy fight for Fury? Do you think it was one of his hardest? Do you agree with what we showed you? Do you agree with the clips we showed? Can Joshua take anything from this fight and use it to his advantage? Who would win in a potential Joshua Fury fight? Let us know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. Stay tuned for the podcasts that are going to be coming up this week. As always, we're always on the air, usually Wednesdays and Saturdays or Sundays after a big fight. So stay tuned for all of that, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, check out the BDA merch store, and we'll see you on the next one. Take it easy, fellas. Thanks for watching.